Y uno de los viajes hermosos que pudimos hacer en el año pasado tiene que ver con haber llegado con Cine y Series 21 a los estudios PIxar. Bueno, ahí, aparte de recorrer los estudios, de llevarnos imágenes hermosísimas, pudimos entrevistar a el director y los productores de una de las películas, más lindas del año, que es Los Increíbles 2. Bueno, vamos a repasar ese momento y de paso también vamos a escuchar, seguido a esto, la entrevista que hace muy poco compartimos con ustedes a Rich Moore en Argentina, y no de PIxar, pero sí de Disney, el director de Wi-Fi Ralph. O sea que tenemos una película para ir a ver al cine, que es Wi-Fi Ralph, y la otra para ver ya en on demand, pay-per-view o en Blu-ray, que es Los Increíbles 2.
Mom's new job.
Well, first of all, what can you tell us about this movie, about The Incredibles 2?
Well, I think it's a rip-roaring great follow-up to the first one. It's hard when the first film was so successful. There's a lot of pressure on the second one to make sure it lives up to the first, and I think that it's done that in spades, and we're really proud of it.
Yeah. And what is new for the Parr family?
Well, I think that one thing that's unusual about the film, especially because it's been quite a number of years since the first film, is that it literally picks up right the second where the last film left off. And if you remember the first film, the audience knows that Jack has multiple powers, but the family does not. So that's something that they find out and have to deal with in this film. The other thing that happens is because of their efforts in the first film, there starts to be a feeling that superheroes should be made legal again. And when the opportunity arises to activate one of them, it's Helen who gets activated rather than Bob. So Bob doesn't quite comfortable with the idea that someone other than him would get the offer. So that's something that we explore as well.
Yeah, talking about that, about Helen, is that a kind of women empowerment? Do you think that?
It could be interpreted that way, but I had that idea as we were selling the first film. So it's not like we are responding to the moment. Yeah. We make films for now, 10 years from now, 100 years from now. So we try not to do things that are of the moment, because 2 years ahead of time, the moment will slip you by. So I don't know, how do you feel about it?
Well, I think it's a story about the way women and men work today. I think there are a lot of women who are working outside of the home.
It happened, though. It's also a long, that's what I'm saying, it's a long-term story.
Absolutely. But it's a story also about parenting. I think that Bob staying at home with the children could be a story about, fathers, they don't know how to do any of this. But I don't think that's what the story is. Yeah. I mean, he starts out thinking, this is easy, I can do this. No. And I think we all start out as parents thinking, it's a little baby, how hard could it be? And it's very challenging. And people will say when they have babies to me, does it get easier when they get bigger? And I say, I'm sorry to tell you, no, it doesn't.
Of course. No.
It just gets more complicated.
More expensive.
It's different, but it's not easier. And so that's really what the story is about, I think.
And that's what the story about, because it's more a family story than a superhero story.
Yes,
it's a family issue. What about the new possibilities? How far they go with new possibilities in the new film?
Technically, you mean?
Yeah, technically.
Well, I got drafted sort of, coming off The Incredibles, I got drafted onto Ratatouille. And we had a very short schedule. But I was amazed that there was only one film, Cars, between Incredibles and Ratatouille. And the technology had improved hugely by the time I did Ratatouille, and it had been only one film between the two. Yeah. So everything has gotten better. Right. And that doesn't just mean that it's more impressive looking. It mainly means that it's easier for artists to get what is in their mind up onto the screen. There's not as many obstacles. So you can more quickly achieve what is in your mind. And so this is going to, even though we had a shortened schedule on this movie, it's going to be a richer looking movie. The characters still look like the characters, but they actually look more like we wanted them to look on the first film.
Yeah,
Right.
because
And there's been,
you keep the vintage style.
yeah, and there's been 14 years of improvements in the
lighting,
and the artists here who've been working together for a long time, and new artists have come, and the level of their proficiency has just gotten, it's just kind of stunning how good the people are here, and how much that's advanced over the course of 10, 15
And how
years.
much that supports the storytelling, most importantly.
We need to change people's perceptions about superheroes, and Elastigirl is our best play.
Better than me?
Hi, thank you for receiving me.
Well, thanks for having me.
Congratulations, it's an excellent movie. Tell me about Wi-Fi Ralph. As a director, how do you describe this movie?
Well, it's a big funny movie. It's got a lot of adventure in it, but in its core, it's a very simple story about two friends who think that they have everything in common, but discover that there's one thing that's driving them apart. And it's really an examination of a friendship, and can it survive some big changes, you know, when they hit a bump in the road.
I think that's a good point, because it's about changes and,
Yeah.
and choices too, no?
Right.
Yeah.
I think so. Because we have one character, Ralph, you know, that he likes his life at home, and Vanellope, who likes the big city of the internet, you know, and these are two characters that never thought that they would have a disagreement, but at this point in their life find, you know, that this might tear them apart.
After Wreck-It Ralph or Zootopia, and looking back in your career, what did you learn in art school?
Oh, in art school. Well, I went to a really great art school called California Institute of the Arts.
You were with Andrew Stanton?
With Andrew Stanton and Brenda Chapman, with some great, I mean, we were all friends back there. And we really learned kind of the importance of working together. Like we always had to, let me just tell you, we'd have to make a student film. Each student was supposed to make a film, a personal film at the end of each year. And we would help each other, you know, on the films. We would pitch our ideas to each other. We became the audience for the other students. And we kind of learned a technique of when someone needed help on their film, that we didn't try to tell them how I would make your film. I would try to get into kind of the head of my friend and try to figure out, what does this film need right now? So it really taught us a way of just working together that was very democratic and wasn't trying to put my views into your film, but trying to help you make your film the best it could be.
Teamwork.
Yeah,
I mean,
very much. Yeah.
You learn about that.
Yeah.
Well, it's a great idea, a lot of great idea in the movie, but the Tron scene, the Tron scene, that's your idea, because it's great. We are a lot of fans of Tron here.
I love Tron, you know, and we wanted to have Tron in the first movie, but we couldn't find the right place to put it. So when we made the sequel and the moment came about, like, this would be perfect for Tron now. I was so happy that we were able to work that into our story.
The cast is amazing. It's an amazing cast. John C. Reilly, Sarah Silverman. How is work as a director with this performance?
It's a lot of fun, because we all became friends on the first Ralph movie. So working on the second one, it's like getting together with friends again, you know, that you haven't seen for a while, because I started to miss, you know, seeing them after working so closely together for so many years on the first one. to be able to get together again, for them to play those characters, like it's a dream come true.
Obviously, we have to talk about the princess scene, because it's great. I don't remember a scene like that with all the journalists in the premiere laughing, all the journalists. How do you prepare that? Because it's part of the canon Disney, the character.
Oh yeah.
How do you work with that?
Well, when we came up with that idea, we said we should approach this as how you would satirize friends or family, because I think that's the best kind of satire when you know that the jokes are coming from a place of love, that I've always found like the things that I love are the easiest to make fun of, because you're familiar with them, and we wanted to have some fun with the characters, but also be respectful of the canon, like you said, and just kind of the legacy of those characters.
And it's great. Well, thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.
Nice
Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.